as I watch this, like it's just, especially the older you get, you realize like all the threads of pain that have like made you throughout the years, like the things that you hold on to still, even from childhood too. So I guess we'll start with Natasha first and Jen. And you know, when you read these words and you started to kind of form her, how did you kind of thread through time with her?
Well, it's funny that you should say about, I think, you know, it's like everybody knows trauma and getting older. If we're talking about people of a certain age, like you start reflecting, and I could totally relate to that. I mean, not the actual journey of Jen, but I could plug into this idea of holding on to things and then things needing to be met and trauma needing to be met. And yeah, it was just like a really interesting story for me to explore. It felt relatable and honest, and seeing Nanouk's Cobain film was, when I watched that, I was like, if this film is of any kind of, it's held in that way and portrayed in such a way, I want to be part of that for sure. But yeah, the sort of journeying through Jen, it was it's quite a lot to hold on to really for the 5 weeks that we were shooting it, but it was really interesting and a gift to be able to do it and step into Jen.
Nanouk, if I can ask too, can you talk about the pacing of this film? Because it is paced almost in pain. It's paced in pain in a lot of ways. Every one of her steps is a footfall, and you kind of feel those things, especially going through the forest too. So can you talk about pacing this film?
It's very nice that you asked this question, because that's actually about the editing of the film also. And I think my editor, Katrien Wartena, with whom I've made all my films, she's very intuitive in pacing and in rhythm, and also the rhythm of the camera and the rhythm of Natasha, of course, all these things. And I had the feeling, even when we were on set, that we all went into this one groove. Like you feel the way. I'm saying a lot of things at the same time, but we started with a camera test to film, which is something that we normally do in Holland, and in Ireland they weren't used to that. But it's just to test the material, the clothes, the background, and in that moment we actually found the way Janet moves. I think for you, Natasha, being in these woods and testing just a scene that doesn't exist, just filming her in the woods, doing something with the cameras, the cameras for the shooting at night for the animals. What's it called? The trail cams.
It's a real gift to be given that, almost as a kind of a secret rehearsal. It's me being able to just be in her body and in her clothing and do this thing that she does day in, day out, like trail cams, but carrying a whole load of weight of trauma and all the things she's yet to meet. But it's that was a real gift.
And how do you move with a backpack, and when do you put this off and put some little seeds you find in little pockets, where do you put them, and finding that sort of normal way of moving through the woods. But the pacing of the film, I'm often being told that I'm a bit slow, but I've been so much more slow in the past. So for me, this is a fast film.
It is action packed. Yes. The other thing about Jen is it's like not only living within the pain, but also the fact that her penance for a lot of things, because there's so many things are attached to this moment that changed her world. Not only the forest, but sex and her relationships and all those things too. So where did you take that when you were like, her just those quiet moments, whether it's just in the car or sitting looking out,
Well, as you can see from the film, it is reflected in the film how Nanouk holds space and time, and the slowness we were talking about, or fast to Nanouk, but that pace allowed you to sit with Jen And in those moments, it'd be interesting to see what the audience think of it. But there's quiet reflection at times. The camera is on her, absorbing her thoughts almost. And a lot of it was happening with the landscape and, say, the different forests, their different kind of temperatures, really. There was a lot of car scenes where a lot of heat is held in there. And it felt like we were on some kind of roller coaster, on a flow all together as a crew. And making this film, everyone was sort of with Jen. I don't know if that answers your question, but...
I'm so proud of the scene where you run through the forest, because that was so difficult to make. You have to find a little road in the forest, and then there's this safety person who comes to see if there's any twigs in the way, and then it's a combination with the slider. How do you call it? We call it a rider in Dutch, like with the rails. When you run in the other woods, because like all the woods in the film is like 10, 12 different woods combined to one. And this building energy you have there. Well, if you think about pace, I think that's a really lovely moment in the film where usually she stands and she just watches the others, and even with her the way she looks at them, she holds them at a distance, and there's just been a sort of breakthrough there, and that's stirred her so much that she has to run. And you're a great runner, Natasha.
I was just reminded there about the deer. I kept having these visits from deer in where I was staying in Ireland in the morning times, and we would look at each other. It was almost like this really good omen before going to film, that they became my kind of spirit animal, and I felt like I was a deer running through those forests, and I really mean that. And the way sometimes she'd be startled or reserving energy or whatever it is, it felt very deer-like, as mad as that may sound, but it's true.
It makes sense. If you were to tell a friend why to watch this film, why they should be excited to like sit down and enjoy this film, what would you say?
I would say have a cup of chamomile before watching. Allow it to flow with you, within you. See the scenery of Ireland in a way that it's shot so wonderfully. It'd be egomania of me to say watch my amazing performance, but just to see all these amazing actors throw themselves into these roles and tell this story, and to watch yet again. Nanouk, I think, has achieved a film in which I think people can relate to and sit with, and just put your phone away and turn it off and just be with the film. Let it slow you down. Enjoy the slowness, or let it come to you. I don't know if this is...
Yeah, that's good. That's great. Last thing, Nanouk, before I let you go, I like to ask directors, what was that one moment, that thing you were worried about, whether it's the casting or the film or a specific shot, that once you got that moment or something in the camera, you had that Hollywood moment of like, we've got a film now? Do you remember that thing that just teetered it?
Well, I remember finding out something on this camera test day, because we were filming also at night in the forest, and that's kind of difficult because you have to bring all these lights, and how does it work, and does it spoil the image that there's too much of a feeling that it's lit, and then we had this flashlight, a torch, and Natasha just walked around the woods, and we were testing what does the torch do, and we saw her walk in her own torchlight, like in the circle of the light, and the cameraman and myself, we were like, wow, this is the night. This is how she will find the poacher, and how she will progress and be alone in the woods in the night. And we don't have to make, this whole, what you say, Hollywood. We didn't want to have like a rim behind every tree. So that was a very beautiful find.
Well, fantastic. Well, congratulations on being accepted to TIFF as well. It's going to be an amazing time. I hope you have an amazing time there as well. Maybe we'll see each other at a party or something. You never know. Nonetheless, have a great day, and I'll make sure to talk about this film, and hope everyone in your world is happy and healthy.